Board members, appreciate you coming out for the work session today. Extended work session. The first part of the work session will be, Sheena, can I use that mouse? Okay. The first part of the work session will be a continuation of some things we talked about last time. So I'm just going to give you, it's going to be on the sideboard as well. I'll give you a sheet with the questions on there, just to kind of open it up a little bit. We didn't talk a whole lot last time about this, but the request was to talk about this and more today. So you got, well, I changed one. Just that as well. So we have a lot of data. Now, and so before we get started, I'll give each one of you a copy of this so you have it. We'll have this electronically. If you want to look at it, I thought you might want it at your space. And I'll give you a copy. These are two reports from ORED. And you got a hard copy, and there'll be a copy on the screen. If we need it, we don't have it up yet. I don't think we need to display it yet, but we can if we need to. And then the last thing I want to give you is, and I'm going to tell you, you'll see this again tonight. This is the email that came from Thomas Dudley at the last presentation. It was asked for the breakdown by the schools by grade level, and that's what this email has an attachment to it. So you'll see tonight that I reference the December 4, 2025 email later tonight when I'm talking about another item on the agenda. So Mr. Cook passed out the questions we had from before, and just wanted to try to open up some dialogue with you regarding the ORED studies and wherever that may lead. So I'll open the floor. I think we have 4 questions there. Kind of leads down. Like, what were the highlights? What were highlights of the information you received from ORED? What did you not think was very useful from ORED? And then, what were the surprises? Last time, some of you mentioned, or I thought it was mentioned, there were some surprises, and there are the questions up on the board too for people in the audience. But so I'll just open the floor to you guys. Actually, Mr. Cook, if you'll let me shore up number 5. I've written down what we decided on for the structure of meetings, so if we need to change that at the end of the day. I have us as a work session starting today at 3. March 16 at 3, and then April 20 at 3. So we can visit that at the end. But I'll open it up to you guys as board about the information we've received and where else you may want to go with this discussion today. So I'll open the floor.
Kind of answer the questions.
Yeah, I'd like to hear. I think that would be helpful for the board because we've not really. That's what the request was time to discuss the ORED information. That's how we got to the last agenda item, our last work session, and we didn't get really into that. So I would be interested. And I think it would be helpful to the board if we discuss some of those responses to some of those questions in no particular order.
I mean, I definitely think the growth areas was a big highlight. Some of it I think we already knew, but some of it was interesting to see how Eastern's supposed to have some growth. I think one of the things that kind of shocked me was Providence growth. and their trajectory for, you know, their numbers going down. And I don't know if that's possible, something maybe with the county commissioners we need to talk about at some point is some of that based upon their area of growth for what they can develop up there. Because I think they're like 3 acres or something if you develop in that area versus other parts. Well, that's what I'm saying.
So what's that, the road you're on?
I don't know if that's something that is being looked at as down the road, might be changing or what. But that was something that just kind of hurt my feelings a little bit because that's such a great, you know, nice new school. I'd like to see it, you know, have a lot more kids in it than what we got right now. So that was one of my things, that was my takeaways, I guess.
You remember what I told you out there years ago, though? It's never recovered,
Yeah.
never recovered.
That too, plus, we purchased some land, and I think this has shown us what our priorities should be, and it's not building where that land was purchased at this time.
You talking about for
The
Liberty?
and Randall High School. I think we need to look at the areas that this shows where the growth is and address a couple of our older high schools, Southwestern Randolph High and Eastern Randolph High. Because there are some
Yeah.
things we need to do there for those schools.
Well, didn't the commissioners kinda, I mean, I think the question, I mean, it's like every meeting, how many we've had with them, it's like you go one way, then at the end of the day, they're like, somehow it gets back in our lap. What do you want? What do you want to do? I mean, if I'm ready to come out and say, look, we want to fix those 2 old schools.
Yeah.
We're not going to build anything right now. We realize that. We're not even going to try. Let's fix the eastern and southwest. You know, do what we need to do there, and let's hit them with it and see what they say. That's where I'm at.
I think that's
I
exactly
think that's
what we
what you
have
need to do. You need to say, look, man, this is what we want. You promised it 20 years ago.
That's what
I mean,
I'd like to see. I'd like to,
Yeah.
I think one thing we gotta look at is Artsville Trinity area as far as a high school at some point, based on this. That may be 10 years down the road or whatever, but according to the growth in that area. But also, I'm like with y'all, they've told us to lay it out on the table, what we want.
Just throw it out there sooner the better.
Tracks,
Let's see what
tennis
they say.
courts, auxiliary gym, and do one this year or next year, and then one the following year.
And also, put in there, land purchase in the Trinity area, if possible. for
You have
high
to start
school.
looking, because
We
they're
got to
not
start
making any more land.
But with the random, and don't forget, I mean, we were looking at possible growth, but we were also looking at the building facilities there. I mean, I would hate for us to go to Trinity and Eastern and start working on those buildings when we know how bad Randleman is. So I mean, I don't feel like it was I still think it was a good thing that we purchased that land.
Yeah,
in
you can't,
Randleman,
they don't make any
nothing-
more
yeah.
land.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I think that's
that's
a
not-
great thing
that's
to
not the
have
thing,
down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if we had to put a priority of things, I wouldn't be asking them to build a new high school at this time.
They're not gonna build it. I mean, they
They're not
keep
going to.
backing up on us every time you mention that.
Well, I will say this, and I'm gonna speak for our maintenance facilities. As far as point, we need to be real careful. And I've mentioned this before in meetings, with the groups and with commissioners. We didn't buy the land at Liberty and Randall because of growth. We bought the land because those 2 buildings are our most needed buildings we have in the school system. Maintaining, when I look at Liberty Elementary, it looks like it'll go up to almost, it's gonna be, it's not going backwards, I'll say that in the next 10 years. And Randall High is going backwards a little bit. It is going backwards. What I think is interesting is Wigmore High School is at 61% full right now, and it's not showing to go up but maybe about 111 more kids in the next 10 years. So I think you've got 2 things, and I totally agree, Mr. Cutlerwith and Mr. Lanier, doing something at Eastern and doing something at Trinity and doing something at Southwest. But I think we need to be I'm just concerned. We're continuing to go out to Randall High School and have to work on that elevated walkway around the, what I would call the hotel building.
Yes.
Is continuing to cause problems. One of the walls fell over right before school started this year on the top floor. That's gonna continue to, be an expense, and, same thing with Liberty. Liberty, I mean, I think probably one of our hardest schools, if not our hardest to maintain, Larry, is Liberty Elementary, but it's not big.
For the HVAC, for sure.
And we, in fact, we started doing split units there in that front building instead of doing HVAC. So I think that needs to be on the radar whenever that comes, if the board wishes to move off those and sit on that land. I looked this weekend, and the thing about the Liberty School, if I'm remembering right, the Liberty School is only on 11 acres of land. So that's not gonna fly if you were to tear it down and build a new one there. So you had to go somewhere. I think that's what I saw this weekend when I was looking through Liberty Elementary School, yeah, 11.95 acres. Well, the state requires 25 now, so you might get away with a major renovation there. They may allow you to do that with the existing school there, but tearing it down and rebuilding it wouldn't.
I mean, we never gonna build Liberty, I mean, we got the land, and you know,
Yeah.
they don't make any more land. I think what Todd,
I just think maybe, okay, look at maybe presenting a 7-year plan to the commissioners. Hey, we want to address this, those two high schools, building a Random High School, building Liberty Elementary, and present it to them based on that, because the debt for those other schools falls off this year, is that right?
About one more year.
I think you could do that work on the school, and then those schools, then you could throw Randleman in that same plan.
And purchase land for Trinity.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking you had a 9-year plan, you're right, you need a plan, but we keep talking about a plan, not having a plan, 2 years is gone, you know, and that's what keeps happening.
Yeah.
And if you don't come up with a plan while you have this board, it's important to get a plan sooner than later, because if you never know what kind of board you're gonna have. I mean, if, you know, we're not all gonna be here forever. You may not be here forever, and when you have new people come in, I mean, we don't wanna put these people on the back burner. I mean,
Well, I think that creates some transparency too for everybody.
Well, I think what
they
staff's
wanna know what
telling
you wanna do. I think we need to throw it at them.
What staff's telling you is you have two schools that we feel like are their longevity, two buildings, and put in a third one is Trinity High School. We started down this road in the spring of '24 with replacing two schools, renovating three. I'd say one of the three we were gonna renovate. As the more we watch, the more we do out there at Trinity High School. We're not comfortable renovating. We're afraid to get in there and the cost winds up being way more than just building a new school.
I wasn't spending money on Trinity, I think.
One of the options I feel like we got is if we go ahead and do something with Randleman. If I've looked at these numbers right, Trinity's projected to grow 200 students over the next 10 years, is that right, roughly?
I say that's all.
And, well, and it may be.
Yeah, that's right.
But the vacancies we have at Wheatmore, it ain't gonna be a fun process, but let's move some people sooner than later.
But see,
Fill up
Daryl's,
Wheatmore and cut some of Trinity out.
but Daryl said when we had a meeting with them, it was like, what was it? It wasn't even on that yet. There was a big development off of Hope, close to Hopewell. He said Wellborn Road, it was like, was it 400 or 500 houses? So that's not even on
I
the
think
plan.
the idea that Wheatmore will fill up, I don't know about the Providence Road issue at 53%, I'm concerned about that. Because I don't see anything going on at Wheatmore that's gonna.
I mean, I believe with this study, without this study, we all sitting here knew
Yep.
where the growth was, which is
Yeah.
in the Trinity area.
Right.
I believe we all sitting here, we was really being optimistic. We would want to see this study, and we was wanting to see growth.
Yeah.
This study showed us the opposite of what we was hoping for. It's showing, you know, really 10 years and no more students were gaining. It's showing, you know, really you look at it in the big picture of things, it's really a decline even though you're gaining students. I mean, you listen, you look, you research. the United States of America, our population is going backwards. I mean, young kids today is not like our generation before us, having 5 and 6 kids. Some people don't even want kids now. And, you know, that's why I was optimistic. I was wanting to come in here and see growth everywhere. But then when you get this and you look at it, you say, my gosh, what's happened? I tell you from my experience, years ago, we sat down, we talked with the Commerce Department at the fire departments and all, we talked to them about our growth and our needs. And the commissioners, all of them told us that, hey, they want to keep Randolph County rural. They want to make it a bedroom community for Guilford County and the surrounding bigger counties. And we just, you know, the growth's not here what we were all expecting. We hear businesses coming, but it ain't bringing the growth we expected it to. And I don't, you know, I don't say it's poor planning on prior people or what, or prior commissioners or economic boards or what, but I was blown away with this. I thought it'd be a whole lot more than what it is. And like you say, you can sit here with all these development, with all these lots, but then you look again at what's not being built. I know one down Lexington Road. It sat there for 8 years before they ever sold the first 5 townhouses in it. And you know, yeah, it can be there, but how long is it gonna take it to fill up? I mean, the same way going, I can't think of the road. The big development built up there 15 years ago, and it's took it 15 years to fill up.
Could you provide us or talk to the schools, however you approach it, what Eastern and what Southwest needs would be? And then maybe then we can place a dollar amount to that?
I think I can tell you right now, they need, Eastern needs tennis courts, needs track, it needs an auxiliary gym. Southwest needs an auxiliary gym. Southwest needs another track, they need another tennis courts.
Any idea what those 3 items
I'd
ballpark?
say you wouldn't be able to do a track, probably last time we looked, if you replace an existing track, like 2-3 years ago, estimate $1 million, you need to dig it out. So you're probably would say, that's easy, $2 million now, I'd say, wouldn't you better be careful?
I would say, but honestly, if you're gonna want accurate numbers, we need to engage with these.
I would say you're probably looking at
But, you know, my thing is, you know, you ask them what they need, what they don't ask them what they want. You know, you ask me what I want, I'll give you a whole freaking list of stuff. But, you know, and nothing against, everything we say here is being talked about. I hate to say this, and I'm gonna rub some people wrong. Everything we talk about is sports related. Let's go in them schools and see what else they may need. You know, they're old schools. You know, it's more than just sports related.
How about additional classrooms for Southwest?
I mean, you know, does the ag or the construction side of the buildings need to be upgraded, bigger classrooms or whatever? You know, we preach on CTE. Let's go in there and see what the CTE departments want. I'm not against these tracks. I know my daughter played tennis out Southwest, and I called Marty and complained about the tennis courts down there. They had cracks in it, you put your foot in. And you know, but if we're gonna do it, let's do it a full circle.
Correct. And if we're gonna do it, we need to get professionals in to assess what needs to be
Right.
renovated, not, I mean, I'm not being critical, but, I mean, I knew both schools I was principal of, but if somebody come and asked me how to renovate the schools, I probably wouldn't have been real comfortable there, because, you know, we're talking one principal one day, and 5 years later, another one.
Right.
The one that just spent $30 million in there, something I think if the board wants to go there, and see, there's the piece, you mentioned. I looked at some stuff last night, and, I'll make sure I don't give you it wrong or this weekend.
My thing's saying what I said, it's not fair for the parents and students who don't play sports, and something may be overlooked. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's be fair down the line.
I don't think we were just gonna
So the original
That-
idea, if you
I
build
think we ought to-
But I know we probably not, and I agree with you, Todd,
Those would be
but
big
every time we sit in a meeting, what do we bring up?
Well, I think it's because you've got the haves and the have-nots from where the new schools were built.
The
That's
new
where the
schools
things
have
that
it, and
everybody
these
goes
don't
in.
have it.
Most people go in for
Exactly.
sporting events and stuff, and they
Well,
think, oh,
we're
I
here
have
for
my son there too.
education.
I know, but kids have to have other access to other things.
Right, they do.
Yeah. So I think that's just the big picture, and I think there were some promises when Providence Grove went in and
Well,
Whitmore.
I know they were, but
So
still.
that's, I think it's
You gotta
just
look
why
at the
that's
whole-
off the top of the
I'm
head.
pretty sure we'll look at the whole thing.
But I feel like there's
and I think
definitely
we'll
more
put
things.
priorities on what
And
we
there's
need at
priorities,
each of
that's
these
right.
schools.
But those big items like that, are such a big ticket, that's a good way to get your figures started.
Yeah.
the flip side, what we need, is we've got to get. We've got to be given, and I don't know how we do this.
So let me ask you this, do you,
We need a dollar figure
Mhm.
of what we can use.
I mean, it's like Mr. Cook said,
Well,
we need a plan.
I think when you say dollar figure, I think we need to just sit down and say, okay, if we want track, tennis court, auxiliary gym, and some CTE classrooms, and that's $7 million, $8 million, we need to put it in their lap and let them tell us what we can or can't do, because they're not gonna tell us anything now. So once we've lay it in their lap, then let them decide if we can or cannot do this.
I would be curious, this is just my opinion. You come up and say, look, we can fix Eastern with, I'm just $10 million. But we'll do that, and then 2 years, if we have to wait, that's fine. You know, then we can be looking for land or whatever we do, but in the next 7, we're starting randomly. But if you get $10 million, I bet they back up on that.
Well, the thing we got to be careful is when we present, we got to be able to stick with our numbers that we present and say, this is what we need. And the thing is, if they hear everything, they may want to package it together. And you know where that's
You
going.
know where that's
They want
going. It's
to
going to
package
bond.
it together for a bond. So we
Yeah.
got to give them something over a period of.
You know, I think that's a good
7
7-year
years.
plan or something.
Well,
I'll
I want to
be-
tell you, if you watch if you see what people post as far as for the county commissioners today, for their meeting tonight, it's property taxes are too high, do not raise my taxes, do not do this, do not do that.
Bond would never
It's
make
It's
it.
gonna
Not
be,
gonna vote
that's
for
gonna be a
bond.
really hard push
You
not.
couldn't sell
for
it.
our people of our county to say, we're gonna raise taxes, or
But
we're
it's
gonna do a
gonna-
bond referendum.
It's gonna be a hard day for Randolph County School System, for the whole county.
Absolutely.
When the top floor.
That'll never work.
Because there's got to be a
Right.
piece of the
Well,
pie for everyone.
right.
And it will not.
Right.
Yeah, we can talk about it and we can debate it, but, some of us see it every day, Larry sees it more than I do. But, we've got some serious needs at some schools. I was looking back, the original time frame we put in place that was approved by the commissioners at the beginning of April 2024, the original time frame we would be opening, if we had been able to do one school, we'd been open in April 1, 2027. Because we had 6 months allotted for land, 9 months for bid process and design, and 21 months for construction. Takes about 36 months from the time you start looking for land. So, that's the unfortunate part.
Say that again, 36 months?
About 36 months. If you're
And how much
starting
will
off-
this construction? 21?
21 months, about 21 months.
Is that
So-
high school or elementary?
That would have been either one we would have chosen, Liberty Elementary or Randall High School. This was back when this was what was approved by the commissioners on April 1, 2024 in the Phase 1 plan, which Phase 1 was on current school issues and looking at future sites. Those current issues are what we're very much talking about right now, which were those replacing that high school, renovating the other 3 high schools originals, which now we know one of those really probably don't need to be renovated, and replacing an elementary school Liberty. So, I guess my concern all along is, I don't know what kind of dollar figures we have to deal with. But I think, the way to do it now is, if the board wants to commit to sitting on the land, and I'm not saying you gotta make a decision today, I don't know that today's the right day to make it, but I'm hearing a little bit of a theme here. Sit on the land for those 2 schools and we take our chance. So I'm just saying, we're taking a chance. But, did we change, cause I actually,
But you're
last
sitting on it
year,
anyway because they're not gonna do anything.
last year, we
They're not
mentioned
doing
that.
anything.
We can't go to the school.
We mentioned that last year about, could we switch gears a little bit? So I think what we probably need to do is to gather what, Mr. Boyles, to your point, we could get an assessment of both of the high schools that need to be renovated, we feel like need to be renovated. We can get an assessment of what's a good renovation, what would it look like? We can get that. Again, now we are, that's not gonna come free, the assessment's not gonna come free. But I don't think that, I think that's probably the way we go. We have to present something formal to them. Because I don't know where $10 million would go, Mr. Cook. $10 million, I don't think it's gonna go very far in either school.
Probably not.
Because I doubt we want to do anything to either one of those two high schools and be done with it, not have the track usable, a tennis court usable. And it's really not, it's, what we got back 2 years ago on the tennis courts and the tracks where you're wasting your time to try to repair them. You might as well dig them out. So whether Eastern's got a tennis court or not, and Southwest does have a tennis court, you're dealing with the same thing. You're digging out Southwest from a place. But to your point, you're talking about the classrooms, and what do we do there? What do we do there? So I think that would probably be a good idea, is to get a full assessment of what would a renovation look like. Maybe they could come in with different types of renovations. This would be of this, and this would include this, and then the board could make some decisions on where to go.
A couple of things. First of all, from the county commissioners, from their mouths, not ours, that no matter what we do, that there's a bond that's gonna be required. Whether it's, and I'm not gonna get the name right, you'll know it better than I do, but there's the,
LGC.
what is it? The
Local government.
Local government, but basically they can do it without having to come before a county vote, which is more likely, it seems like, that's what the most, I don't put words in county commissioners, but a couple of them did say that's more likely to happen.
Limited obligation.
Limited obligation, I guess is what it is, so that they're gonna require a bond no matter what, it's just a matter they're not going to run it before the public to do that. The second thing is though, so that doesn't matter what we do, I think they're going to have to do that. The second thing is, you got maintenance versus growth, and okay, we didn't see the growth maybe that we're looking for, but if we don't have maintenance, we certainly aren't going to have growth, because, and I do not think we need to put Liberty and Randall on the back burner. I mean, the one loves sports more than I do, but I do not want to have whenever the HVAC goes out at Liberty and we got to shut down for a little while, so we say, where's the HVAC? Say, well, it's in the observatory gym at Southwest or at Eastern Randolph. I don't want to have to explain that to anybody.
Yeah.
But the maintenance is leads to growth, because if I'm looking to work at the Toyota plant there, and or the Ross distribution center, and I want to move to Randall and move to the Liberty area, I'm going to look at the schools in that area. I look at Liberty Elementary, I'm going, man, how old is this school? So that may make my decision, you know what? I'm going to go right there just across the line in Alamance County, just across into Guilford County. So I just think we're making a mistake if we do not build those two schools. As far as the 7 or 9 year plan, I think that is an excellent idea. I just think it needs to be front loaded. Where like first couple years, it's this school, and then these things at these other schools. But it doesn't need to be spread out evenly over 7 years. It needs, those first 2 or 3 years needs to be very front loaded on it. So
That's a good point.
and I think, but I do think that is a very good idea about having that 7 year plan. But we cannot. We're going to find ourselves in a big problem 5 years from now if we neglect Liberty and Randall building those schools.
Can you do you have the numbers, the cost for building each of those schools?
Yes, we quoted, when we did our needs-based assessment, our needs-based applications for the needs-based grants, Randall High School, this came with help from Smith Senate, out the door, which in May, when I first got here, high school was $40 million. I think the school system built Providence Grove and Wheatmore for $40 million each, morning, right around there, a little less.
Providence Grove was around 33, and we had about 4.
So by the time I got here, we were saying 40, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was several years past, but the estimate for Randall High School is $102,000. right, 103, it's about halfway to 103.
103 million.
I mean, 103 million, excuse me.
We'll do that one
103
this
million.
afternoon. so-
And then, for Liberty Elementary, so, back in those early years, we were talking elementary schools at 19 million. For our estimate for Liberty Elementary was 49 million, almost 49.1. So,
Will you
Crank it
apply
up.
for a base needs grant every year? Can you do it again this year?
we can do it every year, yes. So
We may get lucky.
we'll continue, that'd be nice if we get one, we can apply for, there's no limit on how many I guess there's no limit on how many.
Boy, that would be
apply for.
nice, wouldn't it?
It would be nice, but,
Well, maybe can we, once we get the assessments of those two high schools, maybe we can look at packaging one of those assessments with a new school, and then do the same thing later with land purchase as well.
I agree with
Yeah.
Fred, but the problem I have, unless I just misunderstood the two county commissioner meetings, is they don't have a clue what they can do or what they will do or wanna do. I'm saying, let's
You
give them
did own it,
something.
man.
We just have to give them
Let's
something.
give them something,
Yeah.
but let's give them something immediately.
If we're not gonna build a school, I'm sure the
Well,
county
I don't-
commissioners
I
hear
don't
this,
think-
but let it be said that the county commissioners did not
Right.
wanna
I
build a
don't
school,
think they're
not,
gonna
not
build a
this
school for
county,
2
not the
years.
school board.
Because in 2 years, Wheatmore and Providence Grove will be paid for. That's
They may
kind
jump
of
on one in
understanding.
2 years, once it's paid for. That may be a ticket to build a school, but
Something needs to be done before that 2-year
but
period.
I hate to sit and wait 2 more years on them to make a move because we've
That's
been
why
They
we
have to-
need
they
to
have
have
to get
something
it
in
there.
place.
when you start down this road, two things you need to be careful with, and that's not get behind. I think we're in danger of that right
And we're
now.
already behind.
And also, you need to be looking at what you overlooked, and that phase one plan, what we may not overlook, what we discovered along the way was Trinity High School started sliding from innovation to replacement.
I mean, I wanna build a school too, but I'd like to, if you don't start on something, you may never, it may never happen.
People in Randolph County have been told 15-plus years, this is gonna happen, and it ain't never happened.
Yeah.
Excuse my English, it ain't never happened.
We know
You
where
know,
you graduated
yeah,
from.
that's it. We need to put something in their lap and then let them make the decision.
I can hear the commissioners that was on, I can hear Darrell right now. We're not gonna forget, when we build this, you probably remember Wheatmore, I can hear it right now, we're not gonna forget the original high schools. We're not, we know they need some stuff, I can hear it right now when he said that, but
And the thing about it is, it's not like we've been bad stewards of their money. We've always gave them back money or come in under budget.
it's
So,
amazing how much it's gone up though in what,
oh, I
that's
know.
unbelievable.
We wait another
Built
7
two
years,
schools.
it's gonna be,
And that's why we don't need to
150
wait,
million.
because
Yeah,
it's
you
gonna
can't wait
only
too many
keep
years or
going.
it'll be out of sight again.
I just think we present it as soon as we get those numbers.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
Just keep in mind that once we finished up Wheatmore High School, 2009, when we opened that school, that's when that first recession hit. So a lot of things,
Right.
the housing market, everything crashed pretty much during that time. Personally, I was getting ready to build a house and all that happened and I backed off because I didn't want to do it.
It flat crashed and everything, I mean,
And that's, I think
You-
that's probably where the county got behind. We slowed down because of the crash.
because once it crashed like that, your numbers and all, it just took them, and never picked up like they were rolling then. What do we have, how many students then? I mean, it looked like we were on just a fast track,
you had more students than you got
God, you
now.
had probably 17, 18
So-
thousand.
Yeah,
pushing
you
18,
had the-
maybe over
you had
18.
the charter
Last
schools.
study had us
18,000,
10 years
yeah.
out, we were pushing 20,000 kids.
yes.
Mhm.
Now,
We never hit 20.
now we're down to 14.
And we thought we would hit it.
Like you say, we can sit here in all these meetings and talk, all we do, till something's put on paper to give them, something they can look at. We're just spinning our wheels here. I mean, I would say, get Dr. Gainey and his staff, they know the numbers better than we do, and all that, and have y'all go ahead and set a plan. Make a plan, bring it back to us, and we'll look at it, and see if it needs to be tweaked or something. but we need to give him an idea of what we want in this plan.
You know, staff and I will need some more direction from the board.
Right.
Because I hear renovate, I hear build, so we're gonna need some more direction from the board about how you would like that arranged. I think you can take 36 months is a pretty good, so take 6 months off of the Liberty and Rambling project, because you got that, you just don't have the design. But we got probably an idea, student senate, remember, we contracted with them a while ago. So we've got a lot of things moving in this direction. I forgot when we did the contract with student senate, but it was probably 2 years ago now. Larry, do you think that sounds too far back? It was somewhere in the year 24 after we got past April 1 time with the commissioners. So just, maybe we step back and come back in the March meeting with what direction or.
Money aside, given a choice, what would be the first one, Liberty or Randall, as far as if you were building tomorrow?
Random.
Randall, okay. All right. Well, there's the first one, all right? I think that should be year one is Randall then. Because we don't need to put those on the back burner.
I mean, that's the thing is, you come with a plan, but, come with a plan A, plan B.
Well, I'd like to see assessments with that,
When was the last time Southwest held a track event at their school?
I don't know. I didn't know about the crack for a long time, probably about a year and a half ago, when I learned that there was a crack on one side. I don't exactly know where it is. And I don't know that they've not held a meet, I don't think they have, but have they not held one with some lanes, I don't know that.
That's the reason I think it's of the utmost importance to get it to the county commissioners ASAP. Because if it's a year, year and a half, 2 years, and this drags along, it'll be 5 or 6 years before we turn around.
But they're aware of our tracks and tennis courts. It's been in writing, it's gone to them, and it's gone to legislators, so they're aware of our track and tennis court issues since, how long ago were those emails being sent? They're aware of those, so there's just real awareness because
I think if you come out of the gate and you just point blank say, I wanna build around my high school, we'll be sitting here 2 years from now and nothing will be done.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I think.
Well,
Now, if you can do
but-
Randleman High School and we give you 3 years,
So I say,
in
plan A, plan
3
B.
years to have something in school, I don't know, but
don't
I
need to
wanna
wait
see them
3
do
years.
something now.
I mean, 3 years and then we're in trouble because then we got.
I said within
Trinity.
3 if you do both,
Then
but
we
I
got
don't think
Trinity, it's a
they'll,
huge problem.
I'm thinking you're gonna be 3 years out before you'll see them do any kind of school. I
And
mean,
we put
we've
that
been
on,
on
we
meetings
put that on
out
the county
here.
commissioners, quit putting it on ourselves, because we can't write a check for it.
Right.
So they're the only ones that can write the check for it. Or it's our check,
But
but
you
yeah.
know, we
just
said in
go,
the
that's-
meeting and we
that-
asked them, what can you do? I mean, they'll turn it around on you, it's
Put it out
amazing.
there, so it puts
But
pressure
They
on
don't,
the
they don't
public.
If you do-
have
we got-
problems finding money for other things.
Yeah, you're gonna have to put something in all,
What
the
if you
7-year
get
plan,
what was
every
said?
year's gotta have something in every quadrant, okay? It can't all be Randall this year. It's gotta be Randall, something Southwest, something East Randolph, something in Trinity, Wigmore area. Next year, it's Liberty, and then it's something still in those 4, areas. So, and like I said, front load, let them tell us no,
That's right.
rather than,
That's right.
rather than, we said, well, they're just gonna drag their feet.
Yeah.
So.
if I wrote down some.
What about your breakfast with Zeb, are you still having those? So what if you talk to Zeb and say, look, our board, we need a straight answer
You can get it.
where we can go with a figure. I mean, we talk about things we need, but what realistically can happen, Zeb? When can we build a school?
I'll tell you, I think we're heading the wrong direction if we do that, because what did they say the whole time? They kept saying, how much? So
Just
give them the number,
Just
this
give
is
them
what
the
it is,
numbers.
rather than saying, how
Give
much
them
can we
103
spend?
million.
This is what it's gonna cost. We're gonna build, Randleman High School is gonna cost $102 million. We're gonna do this at Southwest, this at East Randolph, this at the Trinity area. this is what the total thing is $180 million. I don't know what it is, but that's
Because
what it
I
is.
want to see, okay, suppose you go to them and say, well, let's do Randleman High School,
Yeah.
103 million.
Yeah.
They may say, well, we're not gonna be able to do nothing for 10 years.
Yeah, I know.
And see,
kind of what they're saying.
That's
They
fine,
didn't do
let that on record, that they're the ones that did that, not us, and I mean, I love our county commissioners, but I don't want everybody coming to me and say, well, y'all would never build, Randleman High School, said, that's not us,
Davidson
you know,
County
so.
had the right idea. All their high schools needed tracks. They went to high school A, built a track. The next year, they went to high school B, built a track. I just wanna get them tied down to whatever school, and I think Randleman's at least 3 years out because of Wheatmore and Providence Grove.
Yeah.
But to get, next year, we'll do something at School A. The following year, we'll do the same, if it's the remodel, Southwest Eastern type deal, we'll do the same thing at the other one. Then on year 3, we're gonna build Randleman.
But I see what you're saying, I'm not disagreeing, but I'm saying, no, it needs to be on there next year. It can be approved next year, it doesn't matter if it's built 2 years from now, it can be approved, let them approve it, and then if they don't build it, say you approved it in 2026, and you didn't, and you still haven't built anything, so that's not on us then, so,
To be
I'm
honest
saying.
with you, I don't think they have an issue with that. They'll approve it and it may never get
Well,
built.
then,
They don't have an issue
Well,
with
I
it. Just
understand.
tracks, tennis courts.
Well, I see
Let's
what
not
you're
delay a
saying.
project because we think they want to delay the
Right.
project, let them delay the project.
But they might be
so.
able to come back to us and say, okay, we see your list and we could do school A or whatever next year. But then, like you said, it's all on them. But they may be able to find some money if we have like it budgeted out and we know what's kind of things are gonna
And that
cost.
gives them a budget.
Yeah, but then
plan.
that gives them something to run
Well,
with
yeah, but
and then
you-
they can kind of say yay or nay at that point.
And they can say, hey, we're
Yeah.
doing something.
Yeah.
You're giving them a plan, just like
Not like we're not doing
the
anything.
9-year plan used to be, sort of like Philip said.
Yeah.
You go this year, track here, track there, besides building
Yeah.
around the
Right,
plan.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
let me give you an example.
But I don't want year 3 building around, year 1 could be building
Yeah,
around,
if
they
but
can do
maybe
it,
it's not
yeah.
paid to,
But like,
year 3.
I'll give you an example, like Montgomery County, their fire department. My fire department here, I have to keep trucks that are 40 years old before to buy one, because I got to write the check for it.
Yeah.
Montgomery County, every year, this fire department gets a fire truck, this fire department gets a fire truck next year. They do that, a continuous rotation.
Right.
So in 8 years, guess what? This fire department's getting another new fire truck.
Yeah.
And until you give them a plan with that, and they've said and told us, you ain't gave us nothing.
Yeah.
We set the meetings with them just like we're doing here, and we're giving
Yeah.
So what can we
all
do?
good
Yeah.
ideas, but till you write them something on a piece of paper, and Dr. Gainey hands it to them and say, here's what you wanted, you can't hold them responsible, because we ain't gave them nothing. We just gave them a bunch of lip.
Now,
Okay, you
I
said,
will say the 2 meetings, or 3 that Sharon and I sat in on,
You gotta have a written plan.
well, you need to, because they sat there and promised us a bunch of stuff that they didn't deliver on any of it, to be honest with you.
They
The
promise.
opposite
How
of
long,
what they
how
told
long did it
us,
take
but
you and your staff
told us something
to
different.
give us an idea of
It's not-
CTE classrooms, tennis courts, track,
It take-
auxiliary gym,
Right, then you
at
need a new truck.
Eastern and Southwest? And,
Well, we'll have to talk with, Smith Center, get them to.
Then it's on me.
Because I imagine there's stuff in the buildings they would want to,
This will be all
deal
right.
with too while they're there. I mean, if we were going to do that.
just a guesstimate of timeline.
Dr. Gaines, before I interrupt you, you said, what I wrote down was, so what was it you wrote down was writing down?
Well, what I've written down is 5 schools you're talking about, replacing Ramlin High School, Liberty Elementary, Trinity High School, renovate Southwest and Eastern, is that right?
Yeah.
I think that's what I heard. So what I hear in the conversation is, we put it out there, and they fund it or they don't, right?
That's right.
So, I just throw this one out there. They fund it or they don't, with limited obligation bond.
Then what?
With a limited obligation bond, the one that doesn't require a vote. That used to be called, what were they called? COPS.
Yeah.
But what we hear every time we go to a meeting is, somebody every meeting gets close to me and says, get the bond money, you can do it. And I don't think that's a happy chance of that. I hear that a lot. So,
I think that a couple of county commissioners were, I don't know, I mean, I don't think I'm reading anything. I think this was kind of what said, that it is gonna be a limited obligation bond because they don't want to come, because I think Darrell Fry said, the problem is, you put it to the vote, okay, we're gonna do this, you put it to the vote, it loses the vote, now you can't do anything. Versus if you do a limited obligation bond, then you've got something. So I don't think it's something that's going to go for a full vote of a bond. That's,
Just
don't do
addressing
more.
those 5 things, you're looking at $325 million.
my quick math was 326.
Had
for
some
right
kind
now.
of bar
I think it's
bundle
35 million
something.
for high school, which may not even come close.
yeah.
Yeah, I get that, I get what you're saying, Mr. Burgess, but, you know, the reality is you put a bond package together and it doesn't go through, you can't ever put that bond package back together.
Right.
And probably not even those items back on a road fund, I'd have to look and see, but there's some about that language as well. But, you know, and I keep hearing bond money, that's not the bond money I'm hearing, I'm not hearing the limited obligation, I keep hearing you're gonna need to go sell it to the
I'd
community.
say-
Right, but
That's what keeps.
We were at,
me.
we was meeting in county building, y'all had left and I was still standing there with Jed and Will and all of them. They were hoping we'd do a bond what go to vote. Cause I sat back there and listened to both of them say, we can put something on it we helps with it.
yeah,
They're hoping we do that, cause if it passes, it gets them something.
Well, the issue is, we're not making any progress on limited obligation bond. We're not making any progress on, them guaranteeing our monies for this. So when I hear the conversation and I think about the things that have been said to me, I don't know that we have one. If we do that, then when you look at this, what I just mentioned, those 5 schools, I think the school system has 4 zones. When you go around the high school, there's one zone. You got Trinity High School, there's another zone. You got Liberty and Eastern, there's a zone. You got Southwest High School. Just something to think about because, you know, we got a limited obligation bond for Trinity Middle School, I'm assuming, and it was called COPS, and I can't remember what COPS stood for. But it basically was the bond that didn't require a vote. And I know I've been told there's, way back when, a bond has not passed on a vote, and how many years back, I know. So I just say, we can put a plan together like we wanted, and yes, to put something on up to a vote, I think we have to have their approval to get it up to a vote. And what if they put something on top of it, then maybe because, you know, it's, when you go out for a vote, you're hoping to hit as many groups as you can.
right.
So, what if they put something on it? Then hopefully they're out there helping us get this through, because if we get through because of what they put on it, we got the vote, because what they put on, so be it, we got the vote. So, I think that's something we need to think about, maybe 6 months ago, or maybe 12 months ago, or maybe April 1, 2024, when they were handed a plan, a handwritten plan, I mean, not handwritten, a typed plan, it's right here, it came to the board as an information item in February. It came back to this board in March of '24, before it ever hit the light of the day in the public. You and I and Ms. Farlow met with the commissioner chair and vice chair, I'm not sure that the county manager was there, but we met, I think it was on February 7th, in my office, because we didn't want it to hit the public eye, and unless they were comfortable with it, not about pushing people in a corner, never have been. So we did all that.
We couldn't build one school then.
Now we were gonna build 2, right?
I know that, but even when you mentioned one and
Yeah.
doing something,
Yeah,
they
the
kept
debate,
coming to the bond.
the
whole
debate
time.
was whether we did Liberty and Random at the same time. And the issue was, I wanted to do them both at the same time so we could get to the renovations quicker. Now granted, at that time, Trinity High was listed as renovation, now I wouldn't list it as renovation, so. I think it's just something we need to think about, or the board needs to think about, you know, I haven't ever asked anybody out in the community what they do. maybe there's more support than, you know, you've got a story to tell, Mr. Lanier, Mr. Cutler, all of you got a story to tell. You got a story about what's been said in the past and hadn't happened.
Yeah.
Those stories, I never heard all of those. Now, I do know, and I'm gonna mention it tonight, when we did a special project, as you mentioned, Mr. Lanier, us coming in, there was supposed to be a $40 million high school built in the southwest zone. Thank goodness it wasn't built, because it wasn't needed. But for $410,000, we had 300 high school seats in southwest zone. And by the way, for $185,000, we didn't build another elementary school in the Randall zone. Thank goodness this board saw that and saw, it was kind of squirrely there, because Randall Elementary was 128% full. And even then, we didn't think there needed to be a fourth elementary school in Randall zone with level cross New Market. Thank goodness we didn't do that. $185,000. We've solved 2 school issues this board has. Y'all have, not we, y'all have. Y'all let us dream and y'all supported it for what? $595,000 instead of $59 million at the time. At that time, we're doing high school at 40 million and elementary school at 19. So I think that the question may not be, I think you're all hitting on the same thing. And none of you brought up a school that we didn't talk about in April of 2024. None of, these are the same schools. The only one that's switched is Trinity going from renovation to a replacement. And I think if I polled our maintenance guys, starting with the leader here, I think every one of them would say, if you can get a new Trinity High School, we need to. So I think the question is, how do we go about it?
Does the land up at, first of all, the Asheboro High School and Trinity Middle, that was kind of on the same, used money on, they kind of funded those
I
together.
think it might have been the same package. I
Same
do
package,
believe that.
okay. And then Wheatmore and Trinity was like the same package. So,
I guess.
yeah, Wheatmore and Trinity was like the
No.
same package, wasn't it? Like when that commissioner was
Wheatmore,
like,
Providence Grove.
yeah, and Providence Grove,
Yeah.
Wheatmore and Providence, yeah.
Were they on the same package?
Pretty much, yeah, it was the same package. I'm thinking Asheboro and Trinity was. Didn't
Right,
ask
same
for-
package, weren't built at the same time.
No.
So
It was
that's what I'm
kinda-
saying, it's just like you put Randall on
Yeah.
the first thing, it doesn't,
Yeah.
you don't start
It
construction
was like
until
the
next
same-
year, it
Yeah.
doesn't
So-
matter. You
Same
put it on
package
the-
deals, that's why I was
Mr.
going with that.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing. If we get the bond for the amount of money we need,
Yeah.
all we're dealing with is their workforce to do it.
Man.
That takes out all the other stuff. Now, somebody's out there listening right now saying, well, Gainey, I appreciate that conversation. Yeah, I get it. There's a debt percentage that the county can't go above. I get all that.
Right.
I also know this county manages debt very well. And I can't believe that you would have heard somebody mention maybe the county would put something on top of a bond package we would put together if we couldn't. Now, maybe they don't know, but you're right, Mr. Cutler, the math, when I asked Marty to add some things together, it's 326. But if you get a bond and you get the money, it's just a matter of having the workforce to do it.
Right. Well, people will line up to vote against something before they line up to vote for something. So, you know, I don't know, maybe I'm just feeling a little bit more realistic and I guess I'm more, I'm playing a little bit more of I don't wanna lose than I do caring if I win. All right, a win would be, we're building Liberty, we're building, Randleman, and we're taking care of all those other things all at the same time, we're writing a check for $400 million there, we're good to go. But I'm losing, I don't wanna lose in that we're sitting here 3 years from now and not a darn thing's been done. And now we're 2 years away from, we gotta do something at Trinity High School, so now we're sitting there with
And another
$600 million. And so that's what it says, I don't wanna lose more than I wanna win. So if we can put together a 7-year plan, first year, if it's front loaded $300 million, 326, then that's what we're front loading, and let them tell us no. And then we can back off if we have to, but I just, and like I said, I just don't think, can't back off Randleman High School if that's what is the biggest priority right now. And that's the biggest bulk of that money, obviously, but, you know, we can,
Well, and there's also Trinity High, there's 202,000.
no, I know, I'm just saying, $326 million that, you know,
Well,
rough
they're
math.
both in there. Both high
Yeah.
schools are in there.
Building a high school?
Yeah, both of them.
Oh, okay.
202 million.
3% high school.
Okay.
And
All right.
renovations.
Yeah, they're both.
Well, all right, okay, but again, like I said, just, then maybe it's just like Todd said, hey, we purchased the land for it. You know, so, okay, we got the land, and we know then 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, we can look at the construction, but, and put that as part of the plan, but, I just,
Would you be
you gotta have
obligated,
construction at school in here.
would you be obligated to start immediately if they pass that?
Passed.
Everything?
You do have, let me think,
There's a window you have to do.
there's a window of time you've got to start spending the money,
Okay.
start pulling the money down, so.
But you be spending some of it off the bat looking for land with Trinity High School. And, you wouldn't be far off with, if you had those assessments, some of those two to renovate. I mean, you wouldn't be far off by being able to put something out to bid.
I can't remember if it's when you start or when the money has to be spent by. Regardless. If it don't happen, that's window time.
Now, those needs-based grants that you guys are talking about, is it a 2-year window you gotta break ground or something? There's a window of time you have to break ground
Yeah.
on those. So, what holds up a lot of people with those is they don't have the land. We thought our application was better than shit, we had the land for those schools already goes there, so.
Well, I had a conversation with a person in the eastern area, probably a year ago. I had a conversation with a person in the southwest area less than 2 months ago. Same results. It's time to quit talking, and let's see something done. So I think as a board, we need to get together numbers and we need to give it to them, county commissioners. And what they do with it, they do with it. Because we can't go fix a track.
And if they come back and they break it out, then that's on them.
Yep.
But at least then, we gave them everything that we're expecting.
This is kind of, I'm just gonna ask a question, I know it's crazy, right now, I'm not trying to, it's, I'm just thinking way down the road, I'm thinking about Trinity. Not trying to push anything, but I'm just curious, there's, I don't know where you put the kids. How much land is there? Any idea?
Trinity High School?
Yeah, I'm just curious how much land is, I'm just curious, you know, if there's any, yeah, if there's any way you could,
Trinity High School
you
has
build a school and you turn the other one into, on land that's there, I mean, I don't know if it'd be big enough.
74.83 acres is what it shows.
And the school and everything's on how much of that?
I'm just saying there's a lot of open land, like when you're going in, you know, going down that road to Trinity High. I'm just thinking way down the future, I mean, I don't know, you know,
It's in the floodplain though, where that creek.
it's like floods them.
Yeah,
They can switch that out. I thought they could switch that stuff out these days.
Oh, yeah.
How about what
They can.
Well, you got
They
that
can
too, I mean, you could, how much land is it Braxton,
Southwest.
across the road and all?
9.7 acres.
Is that Braxton and across the road?
Cross
Field.
yeah.
Somebody else owns all that woodland there, don't they?
Oh, I know that.
So what I'm hearing from the board is put together a 7-year plan with numbers, bring it back. Is that what I'm hearing?
As soon as possible.
Front load.
We can do all 7 in 1 year, but on your own.
That's,
Well, you know,
may not be a bad
I think
idea.
the numbers are more important than the signing the years right now.
Yeah. Maybe it's priorities instead of years.
Well, we've got, I think you're sitting pretty firm on the 3 replacement schools. You've got good numbers there. See, you're talking about
255?
somewhere around there, you know. So,
We don't need to give them much time though.
But
They've had a 9-year planning stretch.
I'm just saying to y'all, I'm just saying to you, I think we need to consider what we can and can't control.
I see.
And
I
we
understand.
can't control, we have no control whether a limited obligation bond gets issued.
right. And I know I'm probably wrong on some of that. There'll be some county commissioners, say, oh, Mr. Burgess is all wrong. But I know that, I do know this, that several of them said that no matter what we do, there's going to have to be a bond, whether it be a limited obligation or a, whatever the full, you know, a vote for the county would be. But also, so So I kind of understand what you were saying before, though, when you were saying Randleman, High School and Trinity High School in that 300 million,
And Liberty.
and,
Mm-hmm.
okay, all right, I was
And
gonna
the
say, did we
And the
just jump
renovations.
over Liberty? Okay, all right,
And the
I
renovations.
guess my math wasn't working out yet,
So
so,
there's all five of them.
okay, all right.
All right, well, we'll get to work on it, So, anything else from this discussion? We still fine with having the next two work sessions at 3 o'clock?
I guess, just change it on the day.
All right, well, board members, if we're fine, let's take a break. We can cut our break to about 5 minutes, that'll be great, and we'll bring David up, and then we'll go to our tier bus system, plan, tier bus plan.
great to see all of you. I'm here today to give the annual report for our Career and Technical Education Business Advisory Council. So we are required to meet 2 times a year. This is a great group. We consist of 15 members. I'll serve as the acting secretary. Dr. Gainey's on our team. We have the president, Dr. Shaw Ardoin, he's president of RCC, Amber Ward, Leslie Lomax, several other school-based staff members, and then we have Kevin Franklin. He actually serves our board chair. He's the president of the Economic Development Corporation. So it's 15 members. This group, they are a terrific group. We use them to get feedback on our CTE pathways. One of our critical goals in CTE is to make sure that all of our pathways are aligned to industry, and those credentials we earn are helping kids advance in their skills and their placement. So again, we meet 2 times a year. We usually show them tours of our facilities and our pathways and kind of give them an overview of our initiatives for the year, and then we get feedback. Again, try to make sure we're aligned with labor market needs. So what I've attached for you is the 15 members and their roles in the community. I've also attached the minutes from our last meeting on May 29th, 2025. We had a meeting planned on January 29th, but due to our long winter break, it was pushed back until February the 13th. So we were meeting on Friday at Free Middle School. We will feature our middle school career development plans and our middle school CTE programs. Do you have any questions?
No, but congratulations on the recent.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you for all the kind emails, and just really proud of our staff and students. They're doing some really great work in the field, and I'm really proud of our group, so I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank you,
good day.
David.
Yes, sir.
Board members, before we get to Wendy and Jamie are coming up, and Larry, just want to note, because we'll run this one right to the end of the work session, you do have your board events at the back of your notebook for a work session, so just note them. I think I've got the times for the next 2 work sessions listed as 3 o'clock as well. So at this point, I want to turn this over to Wendy Anderson, Jamie Smith coming, and Larry as well. This was the item, tiered bus plan, was presented last month, January 12th, as a potential area. We're talking about possible budget cuts, possible areas we could go to, and this was an area that we were sent back to bring some information on 2 of the 4 zones. So Wendy and Jamie have worked through this, went through this the other day with them, and they're going to present what a tiered bus system would look like and what it could do for us for the AT Trinity Zone, RCSS Trinity Zone, and the Randleman Zone. We went there at the first step, 2 of the 4 zones. So Wendy, I'll turn it over to you and Jamie.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good evening, everybody. So we got our tiered bus schedule thing going on here. We'll just give you a little bit of background. Right now, we are running 140 buses, route buses, what we're running throughout the entire county. That includes our EC buses. We're picking up before 5:30 in the morning. We're dropping off after 5:30 in the evening. Our first buses are rolling out around 4:45. And we're picking up our first kid around 5 or 10 after 5. Our last buses are parking in the evenings right around 6 o'clock. They're long days for some of those kids, really long days. Our state efficiency rating currently is at 87.9%. So what the state does is they look at our number of buses, our ridership, all the money that we spend on everything. And they have all kinds of complicated formulas. And then they determine that we are or are not efficient. Based on the number of kids that we are transporting and based on the way that we run our buses, they have decided that we are 87.9%. So what they do is they look at how much money it costs us to run, and then they say, yeah, you know what, yeah, you need that much money, but we're only gonna give you 87.9% of it because we think you could do better. That's how it works. That's the way the state does. That's their funding formula there. We looked at everything that we could look at. We have changed quite a bit of stuff at the garage from our end, trying to be as efficient as possible. We've gone from 3 fuel trucks to 2 fuel trucks. We've moved 100-gallon tank buses out to the further schools so we don't have to go out there as often. All these little things that you don't really think about, we've been trying really hard. The guys are great about going and pulling parts off of some old buses rather than going out and buying new parts, particularly if the buses get ready to come off of rotation. So, yeah, we've been trying to find the pinching the pennies to do what we can, but we're kind of at the point where we can't do a whole lot more without looking at the way we're running our buses. And so, Right now, we're losing $740,000. That's our money that we're leaving on the table with the state. Next year, assuming our efficiency doesn't change, we're gonna be looking at $760,000, and the efficiency could go down. It could go up, it could go down. I heard she said that it's gonna go up, but it could go down. It's hard for us because we are a very rural in places counties. And so you've got the southwest area and the eastern area, and even a little bit of Wheatmore, that they're very rural. So you're gonna go 30 minutes before you pick up a kid. And we're competing up against like Charlotte Meck, Greensboro, they can go 15 minutes down the road and pick up a busload of kids. And so it's not exactly 100% on the way that the formula works, but the formula is what it is. So this is where we are right now this second. So what we did was we took the information that we have and we dropped it into this year's data. Just to see, all right, if we were running a tier, where would we be? And this is what we proposed. When we brought this before the board a few years ago, we had 1 hour and 20 minutes in between the start times, between the middle school and elementary school. We knocked it back to 1 hour, trying to be helpful. If you knock it back any more than that, you're gonna not be able to cut as many buses, and you kind of lose the whole point of doing the thing. So we dropped it back, so you can see middle would start at 7:20, elementary would start at 8:20, roughly drop off time, 7 o'clock for middle schools, 8 o'clock for elementary schools. Now, the point of contention always is, why are we doing elementary second? And we are more than welcome to flip it. We don't mind a bit. Here's the problem with elementary. We have a policy of 3rd grade and under, we have to see an adult before we can drop a child off. Our bus drivers do a phenomenal job of getting those little ones home. They circle, they come back by, they call the garage calls the school, we call the parent, hey, where are you? Your kid's trying to be dropped off, they're not there. We back up in a road, we sit in church parking lot, we wait on them to get there. These drivers do a phenomenal job of that.
How many times does that happen today?
Every day, many times a day. Yes, sir. We may take back 10 kids, we may take back 60 or 70 kids. And to be honest with you, I don't know why, I don't know if it's the phase of the moon or what it is. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Early release days are the worst.
Some of them have to
They
environment.
all go back to school on early release days.
Some of it's the environment they live in.
And sometimes I think maybe the bus is running a little early, they have a little dance or something at school, and so a lot of the kids don't ride. But even then, the bus drivers are so good, they'll just pull over and sit there, because they know mom doesn't get home until 4 o'clock, and they don't need to get there any earlier, because they don't want to take them back to school, because mom's gonna have to come get them, and they really try so hard. If we run the tier with the elementary picked up first, that means they're gonna get dropped off first in the afternoon. Well, here's the problem. What am I gonna do with all these kids whenever nobody's home? Well, right now, we just take them back to school. But if we're running a tier, I got 1 hour. That bus cannot sit there and circle and back into church and wait on somebody to get there. And it also probably can't afford to go back to the school. I mean, if you think about Liberty and Nerms, if the last kid lived on Sandy Creek Church Road, which is right across the road from Nerms, and nobody's home, and that bus goes all the way back to Liberty, and goes all the way back to Nerms, now we're 30, 40 minutes late getting to Nerms. Okay. We talked to some other counties, and the other counties just take the kid to the closest school. The middle schools did not like that idea, because you'd be taking a kindergartner to Northeast Middle School, and they don't have access to infinite campus for those kids. I mean, they're little, and the middle schools are not built for little kids. They don't know them. That'd just be awful if you were a little kid. But we don't know what to do with it if you don't do that, because the buses, and it's gonna happen every single day. If you talk to the elementary schools, they'll tell you. On Fridays, they don't even wanna take our phone calls, because we call them on Friday afternoon, sorry, this such and such is coming back. That is why we went with that. We can flip it, but we gotta have a plan what to do with them, if we do that. The benefits, bless them, it'll make route time 60 minutes. Aside from the fact that it'll keep these youngsters from getting on the bus early in the morning, hopefully this will help with some of the discipline. Hopefully it would help parents be more willing to put their kids on buses, because we've got parents right now that don't wanna put them on the bus because they have to ride the bus dog along, and I completely understand. You know, the kid only lives 15 or 20 minutes from school, but they have to ride the bus for 45 minutes or an hour, and it's because the bus turns left instead of right. I mean, we know. It would cut our fleet size, so our DPI efficiency rating would go up. Okay. We'll look at specifics in a minute. If we cut the fleet, then we don't need as many drivers. Yay, team. And then hopefully our sub-drivers could actually go back to be sub-drivers again, because we're running some of these folks into the ground right now. These positions will become full-time bus drivers supervised by the bus garage. So that takes a little bit off the school. So we would be dealing with the drivers instead of the school having to deal with the drivers. They would still have to deal with the kids and the cameras and all like that. But we handle the driver part of that. And this is something small, this is a garage thing. The buses would be in one spot. So instead of, it's a long way between Coal Ridge and Liberty. And I got the same mechanic that runs both those schools. So he wouldn't have to go all the way to Coal Ridge and Liberty. He would go to northeast or he would go to southeast. So we would have a lot of buses parked in one place. You're gonna save probably a right good bit of money right there, just not running up and down the road so much, because that fuel truck's burn a lot of fuel. So that's kind of what we're looking at. If you wanna look at numbers on it, here's specifically what we have. Now remember what I said, we took our data this year and Jamie just dropped it into a tier. This is what it's gonna look like. If we just did Rambling and Trinity High Wheatmore, we cut 8 buses from each area, if we were running it this year. Now, next year, it might be a little bit different, because I don't know what ridership will look like, but it should be fairly similar. So that means we're gonna take 16 buses out of the fleet. So we would go from 87% efficient to 92% efficient, which would mean we would get $269,000 more in our budget. It's our money anyway, we'd actually get it though, just by cutting those 16 buses off there. Okay. If we were to make this county-wide, we cut 31 buses off the fleet. If we cut 31 buses off the fleet, we get $594,000 more coming in right now. That's just straight up money coming in, that's ours anyway. Not anything you have to pay, it's our money sitting on the table. So we get that money coming in right now. That's based on what we're running right now this second. Okay, so there again, you know, it could change a little bit. The biggest thing to me is it would mean those kids down there at Southwest and those kids down there at Eastern Randolph, Southeast area, would not have to get on that bus so early. It would help them a lot. Trinity, Wheatmore, Wheatmore routes are long. Folks don't realize Wheatmore is a pretty good sized district and it's rural in places.
But you're just middle school and elementary, so.
Yes. Yeah, the district, but, you know, the middle school wide is pretty good size.
Right, so, okay. So I'm confused. So like you take Trindale School and may have 2 buses. Will you be taking like elementary kids from Trindale and different, I mean, how does that?
So we would take the 2 buses from Trindale, we'd take the 3 buses at Trinity Elementary, we would probably take the 2 buses at Archdale, and then we would take the Trinity Middle buses, some of them, and we would run the Trinity Middle routes. And then we would come back and then we would go pick up the Archdale kids and the Trindale kids, and they would all get picked up separately.
Okay,
But we would leverage the entire fleet to run all the routes at one time.
I got you. So you would, okay.
That's how you end up running fewer total buses, but you're actually running more buses. So instead of just having 5 buses running Trinity Middle, we could have, what have I got? 26 buses, 18 buses running Trinity Middle. We could have a lot of buses running, because we're running all at the same time. See, right now what happens is, we're trying to get all the kids to the school at the same time.
Right.
And like our EC fleet, that kills our EC fleet, because they can't be late, they have to be there on time, we have no wiggle room. So we're spending a lot of time trying to get everybody in the same school at the same time, whereas if we had a little bit of play in there, then we could say, all right, all the buses go pick up the middle school kids. Okay, now, all the buses go pick up the elementary school kids. So that's how you cut the route times down.
So the driver make more money because it's a little bit longer day for them or not?
They would be full-time,
Okay.
guaranteed 6 hours, and they're gonna be at least 6. Some of them may go over that, but they'd be at least 6 hours.
Would you run into more fuel costs with that many buses going?
Not really. Honestly, you're not gonna save any money by doing this as far as on the buses themselves. because we're gonna run 2 million miles a year, whether we run it like this or whether we run it like we're running right now.
Same miles.
We're gonna pick up the same number of kids, it don't matter.
More money for the proficiency.
Yeah.
But what it does, right, is it brings our money that's sitting up there in Raleigh somewhere down here where it's supposed to be. They know how much money we need to operate, and we don't get it because of the efficiency
So you
rate.
wouldn't be hitting like all the teacher assistants and all the.
Right, we wouldn't be killing them, right. We would still need them, because this is a really important point. We talked to other, counties that have done this, and one of the problems is sub-drivers. Okay, because like, if Larry's driving a bus for me, and he's driving a Coal Ridge / Southeast route, and Larry calls in sick, okay, that's 2 different schools I gotta cover there, right? Well, I've got a driver that probably can do it, okay, well, she's already on another bus, so now what I'm gonna do? What we propose is, we're gonna have extra buses. We're gonna put a bus at every school. And then we're gonna call up Coal Ridge and go, hey, Larry's not working today, so I need somebody to get on bus 231, and I need you to drive the Coal Ridge portion of that route today. And we're gonna have that same bus sitting at Southeast, and we're gonna call Southeast and go, hey, I need somebody there at that school to jump on bus, whatever it's gonna be, and go pick up the Southeast portion of this route today. So your sub-drivers would still be used, but they would only have to do their schools. You wouldn't have to use them as much. And it would be better for the kids, because then they'd have somebody that they know. It'd be easier for the drivers. We wouldn't ask somebody from Coal Ridge to drive the Southeast route. That just doesn't seem fair to me. Now, if they wanted to, I guess they could, like, if, somebody's trying to make extra money and it worked with their schedule, okay, we're not gonna say no. But that would not be the point of it. But we would say to the schools, look, you need to be ready, because when we call you, we need you. That's important, because some of the counties that we talked to, they have destroyed their garages because of this right here. Because somebody's gotta go get those kids. Well, if the garage is the one responsible, the garage is the one that's gotta go get it. We already cover the EC buses. So my crew already covers 24 positions. We can't do a whole lot more.
Will your crew leave out of the school, one particular school up there, or how would that?
We were planning on basing them out of the middle schools. Let them run out, that's where the bigger parking lots are. So Trinity Middle Lot, Ramlin Middle Lot, that was the plan. Because those are the bigger bus lots. The elementary lots just aren't big enough.
So would you have enough people to cover, I mean, you said full-time drivers, would you have enough drivers, or?
Well, we have to find out. What we did when we proposed this before, was, and I have not talked to Jeff Howard yet about this with child nutrition, so I need to talk to Jeff about this, but what we did before was we just brought them all in a room, everybody drove a bus, said, all right, what do you wanna do? Do you wanna drive a bus, you wanna work in the cafeteria, what do you want? And we just let them tell us what they wanted, and then at the time at Skelly Green, we took the notes back and said, okay, all right, this one wants to drive, yay, this one wants to work in the cafeteria, and honestly, it sorted itself out. And people got to do what they wanted to do. I was a little surprised at how many people, some of our older drivers were really happy about it. They wanted to drive. They really enjoyed watching them grow up from the time they were little to the time they get in the 8th grade. They like it. Some people really do like to drive, and they're really good at it. And then some folks are like, yeah, I don't really want to drive. I'd rather work in the cafeteria. Okay, that's fine too, because they need help too.
Right.
So we had happy people, we had positions filled.
Wendy,
Yes,
we use the question, Jeff.
yes, sir, you go right ahead.
I want to point out something here, just because I want to go ahead and get it out there. But, when you look at drop-off time, middle school, 7 o'clock. So, yes, middle schools will start a little earlier, 7:20. But I'm looking right here, and these are the start times right now for middle schools. 7:50, 7:50, 7:45, 7:45. It's a little bit early.
What are the ones up in Archdale Trinity start?
Archdale,
Or Trinity?
Wheatmore 7:45, and Trinity is 7:45.
Okay, so that's not
Okay,
far
and
off.
so, there's another piece Wendy mentioned to me. If you put the middle schools behind the elementary schools, now you start having trouble with practices for athletics, because the practice fields aren't lighted. Now we go to the elementary, and you say, well, that's a little bit later. I'm just thinking about the questions that are gonna come. I know what it's gonna be, because no one wants to change. that's the number one issue here. No one wants to change, but the Randolph County school system is sitting here leaving money on the table that, and just for the record, and if anybody in Raleigh's listening, we have told them the formula is broken, and we've been telling them since the years before I came here. The formula is not gonna change to help us. But they say back to our people when we don't get that funding Wendy tells you about, their number one thing is you need to be tiered. So the formula is set up that if you, and Marty will tell you, our budget closes, two things, or there's two areas that are, one of them closes second to last, one closes last every year. Transportation and EC, no matter which one closes, that's how it's been the whole time I've been here. So, as we're talking about a $2 million cut, and talking about this is an opportunity to address and reduce some costs without touching anybody's job. Looking at the elementary, 820, well, I get that there, and I hear you, there's different kids grow up in different environments, I get that. But kids are gonna be dropped off at school as early as 8 o'clock in the morning, and here are the start times for elementary schools right now. 7:55, 7:55, 8, there's a 7:50, there's a 7:45 at John Lawrence in New Market, and there's Trindale and Trinity are 7:45. So the AT area, and I'm just looking globally, let's go to the AT area real quick. The Trindale, Trinity are 7:45, Hopewell 7:50, Archdale 7:55. So we're really not that far off what's already happening. I get it. There's gonna be a lot of scenarios, but again, this is one of the things that if we get out here and commit to this early, and I mean, I'm just gonna be honest, I've been where we did all three zones. And yes, the high schools came in early, and they got out early. And no, there is one problem with high school athletics, and the high school's coming early. I lived that for most of my career at work, so I heard that study that was done many years ago, from another place about how that was not good, but it was good. So, I think the beauty of this one is, and I'm speaking for Wendy because I know how hard she and Jamie worked on this, and I know how eager they are to try this, and I know that when this group tries something in this school system, this group succeeds. What we know goes on in transportation is way more than the public eye sees, including yesterday afternoon to get us in school today. Wendy, thank you. I'll say something later tonight, but I think it's big when your transportation department's calling on the exact roads that we need DOT to go cover in Cleveland, and that's what happened Thursday and Friday for Monday today. So I just want to point those things out because that's where my mind went first, was, okay, what are we doing to the middle school? Well, we are starting a little bit early, but we're not starting real early, not too early, I guess you'd say, compared to where we are. And what are we doing, how much later are we doing elementary schools? And now let's go to the other end, elementary school 335. Yeah, that's getting on out there a little bit, it is. It's a later end, I'll give it that. Hopewell's 235, Trindale, Trinity are 230, and John Lawrence is 230. Yeah, it's gonna stretch your day out a little bit, but I just wanted to add those two, because those are what'll come up first, I'm sure, is my child's starting in time change. Well, something's gonna have to change, or we're gonna keep leaving this money in Raleigh. And,
Do
so
most of the counties around us do some sort of
Yes.
tiered?
and Asheboro City's been doing it for years. They do it, obviously, I mean, they've got a more urban
Right.
area. And that's why I think it was wise that this board asked us to bring back our Trinity area and the Randall area, because.
It's probably easier starting out with two.
Yeah,
than with
Yeah,
and see,
each
see.
other.
I think I said something to you, or one of you board members last week when I talked to y'all. The beauty of it is, at some point, we change direction here. And then we have two more zones that could be added to the picture, maybe one a year. And so you've already got in some bill savings. You know the next year, if you add one more, there's a little bit more savings towards whatever's coming our way. You know, anybody out there listening, budgets aren't getting better. Look at the universities, state university systems. Look at the state university system and look at what the universities are proposing to cut out of their budgets. It's across the board. So I think you build in next year this time, one of the things we could talk about is, we've got 2 zones doing it, let's add a third. There's some more budget reduction. I just want to get this money from Raleigh, because we've been, Marty, we talked about this for years, we were talking about this where I was before I came here. So that's how far back it goes. This formula is broken, it does not work really well for rural school systems, particularly a school system that has the geographic area of ours. We don't pick up a kid every 5 feet like some of these big school systems that have big urban sections. And I may be exaggerating a little bit, but I'll tell you where I was, it seemed like there was elementary school in every corner. So there's a big difference. And we take off for Bennett every morning at about 4:45, 4:50, don't we? Just to get out there to come back with those great kids. And so,
So that means that driver has been on shift even before that, because they have to do the pre-trip check.
Yeah.
Is there any possible way, and I'm just thinking how people think, okay? Is there any possible way the elementary time could be adjusted? Number one, where you would, the 3:35 people, it's like $1.99. You go over $2, you get a 205. Is there any way it could be 3:15 range? I mean, I'm just.
We would just have to shift everything back. So that means your middle schools are gonna start 7:05. We can shift it anyway.
What they're saying, that hour is about as tight as
That's
it
the key.
can be made. So if you move one thing, you move both.
yeah, to turn the buses around, that's the issue.
I got you.
You gotta have time for the buses to, I love that explanation, or that picture that Wendy paints about the elementary kids, because I think our drivers
I just-
will do a great job. But
3:35, I just think,
That sounds late, I agree.
it does sound late.
But when you say they're not starting till almost 8:30.
Yeah, I know, and then here's what you have, I'm also looking at the morning part, because I'm thinking of these mothers that work in an office or something, they're gonna drop their kids off, and they've got a certain time to be there.
No matter what time, you're gonna affect
Oh, I
somebody.
get
It
that,
doesn't
I
matter.
get
There's gonna be
that.
some that says, I
I
can't
like
get them there
not picking
before
up those
8:20.
elementary
You have some
schools.
kids.
And I like
It's so early.
After it.
They're the ones we worry about, when it's so cold.
They start at
dark.
8:30 when I went.
It's the little
You get them
kids.
there at 8 o'clock, where are they going? Going to the
I was
cafeteria?
gonna say the drop-off times are the bus drop-off times, right?
Well, the car riders can drop off then too, just like now.
Could the car riders drop off earlier? No.
that starts creating another program at the school for the staff, and that's, it all sounds till you get about November and everybody's tired, and then that's the problem with
And I
that.
was kind of looking at what Gary was saying, if you've got an elementary school parent that drops off their kids, that have to do work at 8 o'clock, that's gonna create an issue there.
You go to school now, people gotta be working at 8 o'clock, dropping the kids off at 7:30.
Yeah, but one of the beauties of this is if we let them know early enough, I mean, I hope we can, this is, I don't know. I understand, just like I think Mr. Burgess says, it's not gonna be perfect for everybody, but to Wendy's point, the start and end times on both of those have to be an hour apart, or you're gonna wind up not getting buses back from the middle school routes in time to pick up the elementary kids. It's gonna start backing up. And the beauty of this is the high school kids are totally out of this. So, that's the beauty of it, Wendy. A big plus there, if you did it all the way across, you'd be having that linkage 3 ways.
You'll have principals though that'll fuss about it too.
Well,
Just saying.
no,
I know
I
they will,
understand
but they will. I know how they are.
but this is,
And staff, I mean, they won't, I get it, but
What's
it's gonna
the,
mess up some of their schedule.
what's the earliest somebody can drop off a kid at school now?
7:20, I think it is, 7:20, 7:25.
But-
I was thinking around 7:30.
But you have some school, I know one school that, they don't have a rule like, they work it where they come on in, which they shouldn't be doing that. Because what you're doing, you're opening up Pandora's box, and you're just saying yes to parents, and, that's popularity contests. I don't like it.
Dr. Gainey, is there any way the number of hours we have for a student per day could be changed?
well, I think you're then putting yourself in the middle of the calendar law and, I mean, we could, you start talking about absorbing days, the 5 days, now we're kinda,
I mean, if you could increase your hours per day
Oh,
and increase
it-
over the course of a year
well,
because of this?
that might, let's see, the elementary, let's look at this, hold on, show me. I hate to go backwards, I hate to go the other way.
No, don't go.
Yeah, okay, I got you. Okay, so, but remember, you're losing, like, let's just say Trindale. If you do 8:20, you gotta account for 35 minutes the other way. See, so you're losing 35 on the front end, because they start at 7:45 now, so to start at 8:20, that's 35 minutes later. Is that right? Is my math right?
Dismissal time.
Yeah, that's why you gotta have dismissal time later.
What time do they let out? I mean, how, is the
They
hours the
let
same?
out now,
It's the
they
time
let
of
out now at
school.
2:30,
That's what, yeah.
but you can't bump that to 3:30, because then you gotta bump the,
We gotta have
you
that.
gotta
But
bump
you're
the,
saying still, the time at the school is still the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't.
right, yeah, I got you.
I'm just trying to think if we could save. If
10
if they're
minutes.
gonna be there 5 more minutes longer, maybe we could, reduce the days during the year or something.
If they were there more time.
If they were there more time.
That topic came up last week with some people with their calendars. I don't, I'm really worried about this,
Okay.
just because of some reaction to that last
They're
week.
there 10 Saturdays, 10
You're
minutes.
talking about getting to 1,025 hours in
10
2
minutes,
days.
that'd take a lot
There
of
was a
days.
discussion about that
Yeah,
when
it
I was
would.
in the other day. I think some people may be doing that.
In how many days?
The other day, I was in a meeting, and there was a discussion that happened about, I learned some systems might be doing that.
In 4 days?
No, they would just shorten their days.
Oh, okay.
Like 180
That's what
days.
I know, that's what it
I'll be worried about it.
So how many hours is that exactly a day they're going to elementary?
It's the same.
Same,
It's what they're
exact
doing
same.
now.
When,
Is there,
go ahead.
well, I was just wondering, is there, charter schools get to do it, why can't we? Could you not? could
Nobody's
not
ever
have
asked that question.
a central pickup spot, especially like E-reg? I drove a bus down there for a
Oh,
while.
yeah, I can do it.
Oh, we would love.
Oh, we can do it. Best be ready, but I can do it.
That was great.
And we can, and we talked about this, we've looked at it. It's not as fair, I don't think, to the kids that are way out there in the rural area, because those kids do have to come a little bit further to get to a bus, but we can do it. We do it some now. Honestly, it would have helped us over the weekend if I picked up all my kids in the grocery store parking lot, we'd been back to school on Wednesday. Because you aren't traveling all those secondary roads out there like we did right now. If you believe what you're told, we're told some of these kids aren't gonna get to school if we don't go where we go.
And that may be right.
And I'm not disagreeing. I'm just-
That's probably right.
But we talked about like snow routes and like, what would I do in Bennett? Tell them I'm gonna be in Cold Ridge Elementary? I mean, where am I gonna meet them at down
Because
there?
I think you have a different set of kids sometime. We have to take them all, and unfortunately, some of the situations, they can't pick and choose where, I mean, it's sad. I mean,
It would definitely help us.
ride on the bus
definitely.
may be the warmest place, vehicle they ride in.
If we choose to go with the tiered system, with you and your staff, which would be better? To do a couple places or do them all?
We can do either way. I mean, we're
Which would be
comfortable
easier
either
for
way.
you?
Honestly, we're comfortable either.
I just feel like we do too.
Yeah, the model,
Everything's
only
good.
way we got those numbers was to
And then
do
you
the
get
whole county.
positive,
We would've
and then you
done
get,
that
we're
all
like,
the
yeah,
time.
it's not
Just
bad.
jump
If
in
you
the river.
stick around in the Trinity, which is fine, you're not helping the kids that ride the bus for so long.
Right.
If you wanna help the kids getting on the bus at 5 o'clock in the morning, you gotta look at some of the other areas.
That's what I think.
See, if I'm gonna get cussed out, I just assume you guys get cussed out too.
And I'm thinking too.
You wanna get all cussed out at one
You're
time.
dang right, everybody gets cussed out.
Not, maybe you're did another group deal.
Mr. Good, was that the follow-up to your, if we're gonna jump in the river, let's jump
Let's
in?
jump in all together.
Okay.
Let me finish one more thing, and here's the best part about it. Wendy, this will help you, okay? I have heard so many people, and they have no clue, this call comes in, And, we really like that new guy, Dr. Chilton, Larry, new guy named Larry. And, you know, because this time we've had off for school. So the best way to sell this, we could sell it as, the new guy Larry come up with the plan. We'll just put it all on the new guy. See how quick he goes in the river. Well, Larry's in the river.
So board members, I guess Wendy, go back to the beginning a minute, the numbers. You had some stats. You said we were gonna save 16 drivers if we do 2 zones. Okay, so there's 16, go to the all 4.
All of them, okay.
There's 269,000. Doesn't touch anybody losing their job.
Let's go back, let's go.
That's towards what we're working on, which was on that list of possible budget cuts.
Hang on.
And then,
Let's try this. Be specific. Yeah, if you get the right place.
countywide,
Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
the total number of drivers is 31,
We could go on.
right?
We're gonna cut 31.
And there's almost $600,000.
Wow.
That's based on this year. Now, if we dropped it into place this year, that's what it would look like.
I do it.
Might be a little bit different.
How much do it
I think we
If
do
they
it
can
all one
handle the
time.
people, I mean, you got the people, I would just go ahead and all get in the river together.
At one time.
I'm usually not in for easing into anything, just go front load.
Just jump right in.
All of it, all the way. But I do have a question though. Raleigh sometimes seems to have this thing that whenever you use the rules to your advantage, then they kind of change the rules a little bit. You know, it's like, I think there's something like the county system was supposed to get this money, and then they realized that, oh, it was gonna be a huge amount of money they were giving the county, so all of a sudden they said, well, we can't do that anymore, so they kind of changed the rule. So I'm just kind of curious, have you heard with any other systems who are doing this, is all of a sudden that, you know, according to our math, it's 97.6, but you see anything that could be changed as far as where Raleigh's going to change the rules a little bit, and all of a sudden now we're back to 87 because that's what money they really plan on giving.
I think you're low well funded,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's a good question.
Not to our knowledge, we've called for several years and asked, what can we do, what can we do, what can we do? And particularly after we threw out the pier the first time, and it didn't really go, so we're like, okay, what can we do?
Yeah.
And they looked at our numbers and they told us about the only thing we could do was tier, because we cleaned up routes. When I started here, we had 162 buses, and we cut down to 140. So we cut a lot of buses, we cut a lot of what we call deadhead mileage, we just kind of ride around in circles, because that factors into your efficiency rating. When we pulled the middle school and high school buses apart, and I know some folks still question that decision, but it really actually was beneficial. One, I think parents like that a whole lot more. Two, good grief, the schools like it a lot more. And three, we would actually have to run more buses if we put all the buses together, because then the middle schools are the problem. The middle schools are the overloads. That's where you have kids, you have way more kids than you need sometimes riding buses. The middle schools all have the autonomy right now to make a decision to run a group of kids home and then come back and run a bus. If we had to route based on maximum numbers by putting middle school and high school back together, we'd have to put 7 more buses back on the road, because we would have to account for the maximum number of kids that may ride. The maximum number of kids ride that bus probably 6 times a year. But we have to route for that, because we will not run an overloaded bus. So at a middle school level, middle overloaded is 61 kids. They can haul 60 legally. So if they show up with 61 because it's raining outside and the ball practice got canceled. And so now all the kids are gonna ride the bus that afternoon. All the middle schools have a plan in place. Okay, we're gonna run this group home, come back, now we can run this bus. If we didn't have that, and we had a mix, let's say Wheatmore Middle, instead of having 30 kids on the bus, they put 45, and then that bus rolls over to Wheatmore High, and Wheatmore High is trying to load, and they're like, oh snap, too many kids, what are we gonna do? Well, then Wheatmore's sitting there, having to hold them. It's just a mess. So it actually is more efficient. You're gonna run the same 2 million miles no matter what you do. And we're gonna transport 6,000 to 7,000 kids no matter what we do, however we do it.
Wendy,
Yes, sir.
the last time we presented this, it was all 3 zones, all 3 levels involved, wasn't it?
It was not involved in high school,
Did
no,
not
sir.
involve high school.
No, sir.
So-
No, if we involve the high schools, we have to touch early college, and we don't want to touch early college.
So what we're looking at, board members, is if you did all 4 zones, you just eliminated, what we're carrying is 30-plus bus driver vacancies and have been for 3 or 4 years. And you know the numbers, the number we're trying to get at, and some people say to me also, well, Steve Gainey, why are you saying there's a $2 million cut? Well, remember, 1,185,000 of the low wealth cut is funded by appropriated fund balance this year. So that's where a big chunk of that 2 million starts off right now. But, so I just think it's something, we're ready, we'll be ready if the board would choose us to say, let's go all 4 zones.
Can you operate on that hour with the rural area, like Southwest and all? Same hour, same time?
Yeah, they did it, as Jamie said, they couldn't really get you a plan here for just 2 zones without doing all 4.
I got you.
So they're ready to go. And to your point, Mr. Burgess, and I think Mr. Cook, you were saying something similar to it. You know, what we get back every time we come back with our efficiency rating, the only thing they say that can do it better, to get us higher, is the tier. So, I mean, I was very disappointed we did tier, and all of a sudden, they changed, but that's all we've ever heard back from our advice. Go tiered and this will clear up. And what Wendy's saying too, so, you go from 162 buses to 140. That's a considerable, so her staff and her have gone, and the obvious stuff without doing tier has been pulled back. So we're at the point, there's nothing left to pull back other than start saying, we're not running these buses anymore, which that's not an option for us, and it shouldn't be. Our responsibility is to get the kids that live in our school zone to our schools. But, you know, you talk about 3 fuel trucks, not as 1. You talk about where they're putting big buses so they don't have to go out that many times to fuel them. I mean, those are little things, but you don't have but so much of that you can do. And I will say this on Andrea's behalf, or in Andrea's arena of HR, if you got rid of the split positions, I don't think that would be unwelcomed to bus drivers or to child nutrition people. Now, we're not saying people wouldn't have to get their license, because we gotta have buses rolling, so bus drivers, but that would help some of this too, is what I hear, Wendy, too, from last time, my memory of when we were trying to sort through what we do as staff, and Wendy, it got rid of some of those positions too, did it not?
Yes, sir.
Well, do you have any people, Dr. Gainey, that combine both jobs to have to be full-time? Would that mess, like cafeteria, bus driver, is that?
That's what Wendy said that they
Is that,
told
Yeah.
them either or deal.
They would pick.
That's what we did before.
so they would be able,
Yeah, that's
So
what we did
that's-
before, and it seemed to go up pretty well.
Now, we were ready to go. We were really ready to go with the personnel piece, which Andre and Wendy, I think y'all two worked kind of together on that, and it was clearing up pretty quick, so.
We're a little deeper in the hole now than we were a few years ago. So I don't know if we'll feel it quite as fast, but we might. I honestly don't know. But we are a little bit further behind the 8 ball than we were a few years ago. But with full-time position, some folks really like that. They like that idea.
So, full-time position, so those bus drivers then have benefits?
Yes.
Okay.
6 hours.
6 hours, so they'll have the healthcare and the pension and everything else then? Okay.
Which a lot of them have now, but they have it because they're in a split position.
Right, I know, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
as far as if all I do is just drive a bus for an hour and a half,
Yes,
3
yes,
hours a day now,
yes.
and now I'll go 6 hours, and now I
Yes.
have benefits, and,
Yes.
all right. Well, I don't, we can talk about it all day, but I'd just say 31 cut. 97%, let's do that.
I'm just
I
curious.
think you need to, and I agree. Reason I suggested, we were talking Randleman and Archdale, or AT zone, I was thinking, because it was smaller, I hadn't thought how you could actually do the same plan, I guess I forgot. So, yeah, I mean, I'm all for getting everybody in the river. I'm not wanting to be in it by myself, I mean,
I'm just curious, I know you said we'd be running the same amount of miles, but will that save any on tires or anything like that, anything shop wise?
No, and I've talked to the mechanics about this, what's gonna happen is, you know, we have to do periodic maintenance, the PNs come up every 5,000, 10,000 miles, the PNs are gonna come up fast, 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 fast.
So Dr. Gandy, how would you, I mean, we would need to get it out sooner than later. wouldn't we?
Yeah, I'm
So
thinking.
how would you sell this? I mean, what would you tell like, from a, which is true, a financial standpoint, you know, how would you, kinda like that, or?
Well, there's a couple of things. I mean, the other thing,
And the other systems are doing this.
well, the effective thing for us too is the children, shorter bus rides. That's a huge thing because we
It's a
hear
shame a
that.
kid getting out there at 5:30.
My kids are out on the bus all this time. Now, here's the flip side because of a previous experience. If we go here, then, and we have to let out of school for weather, we've got to account for the first tier, we got to account for when the second tier gets back in. So there's a little bit of a strategy there.
You need to leave at 11 instead of 1.
Yeah, if you would, you can't let out an hour later, you might have let out 2 hours early, because you gotta account for not the first tier to get the kids home, but to come back and get the second tier.
And that would also work same on the front end if you went in late.
Exactly, exactly.
That's true.
So there'll be some things, we could think through it. The question that,
If we get out 2 hours
Yeah.
early.
the selling point is this. You're asking what about the selling points. I would say we need to bring it, I mean, if the board would, I think we need to bring back to as an action item, next board meeting. And then, you know, we're looking at March 16, and then we have from March 16 there to sell it, or to share it. I mean.
Well, I think it definitely needs to go out to the public, like, they need to hear it and make, you know,
Yeah.
have an opinion about it, and,
Do you
I
think we
think that's
should
where
share it before we
sometimes-
vote on it?
well, I
And
mean.
we're looking into it, or how
I
would?
mean, I think, I just know, I remember the last time, part of the reason why it blew up so bad was that parents were like, how come, you know, we're just hearing about this, and I think that's what, you know, some of the things, not that there's a lot they can change about it, if it's something that we feel is the best for the school system, but I just think for them to be able to have maybe, you know, talk about it or whatever, I don't know.
How many bus riders do you have, Wendy?
We transport around, right around 6,000 kids a year.
So, you know, we got
That includes
6,000
high
kids, we hear from 50 people.
Yeah, I mean, I
We only
get it.
transport,
Here's the
a third
thing.
of our population.
Here's the thing, you know, I hear two things here. It's, if we're gonna do it, then we spend from that meeting on making sure everybody knows what it is we're gonna do. Because I don't know where you go, I mean, do I think you're gonna hear people who don't wanna do it, don't want us to do it? Yes. But we're also facing some other issues too.
Right.
And we're trying not to affect any more staff than we have to. So
I think you just have to present it,
I think we,
explain it,
Yeah, I
and,
think we
and
present
then,
it.
you know,
I'm
as a
not saying
board,
don't
our
present
job
it.
is to vote on it, what's best for the school system. And you know what, if we get, you're gonna have 50, 100 people really ticked off, and you know what? You have to look at the big picture, and the big picture, I'd rather people do this than we have to, people lose their jobs.
yeah, so my take on it would be, bring it back in March, it's obviously out in the public right now. Bring it back in March, and then if you guys are inclined to vote it through, then we start educating people what's happening.
Yeah, I'm good with that, I just, you know, as long as transparency, yeah.
I think we'll have more problems with car riders
Yeah.
than we are bus riders.
Well, I
with
agree,
this
yeah, I think you're
time
probably
slots.
right, that's probably where it's gonna come
Because,
from.
hey, we can't
Yeah.
drop the kids off before 8 o'clock or whatever.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of them that are tardy too, so maybe they'll show up on time, so.
I wonder if they'll be tardy at 8:20.
You'll still have plenty of time.
Once they figure out they gotta be there at 8:20, be there at 8:20.
I mean, that's one thing you gotta look at when you present this out there, you know, you say, hey, this week you can drop your kids off at school.
We're only transporting a third of our whole population, right?
Right, and I think there again, honestly, I think our ridership will probably kick up a little bit if we get better times.
I think,
Yeah.
Those
Kids
ones
not
that
on
are
the
kids
bus
on those
long,
bus
absolutely.
I don't think they're the ones gonna complain, I think it's gonna be that, 30% of, the drop off from others.
So the
that's
middle
used to-
school start time, what
Will
time
be
would
the
that
other
be?
way.
What would we be looking at if we were to keep it as is? Like, what time would the first kid get picked up? What would you be thinking?
No earlier, no earlier than 6,
Yeah, right around
Okay,
6
so that's-
o'clock.
or 5 till 6.
Yeah, that's much
Right around
better.
6.
Yeah,
If you go across the system, I'm looking at all the bell schedules, all the bell schedules for the elementaries are right at the same, all you get out, right at the same. Middle schools are, the only one different for middle school is your Ridge. It's not really different much, it's 10 minutes later and it's 10 minutes later, so starting any times.
Where would high schools fall in between that, as far as current?
Times stay the same.
The high schools are all basically 8 o'clock, but early college, and they all get out. Latest one's 3:10, so they're kind of more in the elementary range, Mr. Cutler. Yeah, I'd say they fall in the elementary piece.
You know, when Wheatmore opened, they started like, everyone was used to, Trinity was like, back in the day, like, it was almost 30 minutes different back when it first opened, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's gonna be the end of the world, you know? Because I guess the way the buses or something, but you know what? It only took 2 or 3 weeks, and people were adjusted to it, and you never heard another word about it. Because, I think they started about 8:30 then, or 8:20,
Actually.
to 3:30. I mean, they still go that right way. I don't
You know,
know.
I misspoke. Trinity High's 3:10, Wheatmore's 3. Randolph's 3:05. I don't know why I thought Wheatmore was late.
Just out of curiosity, I'm looking at, and me and Todd just had a side discussion. A lot of times, like Southwest, for instance, a high school sibling may bring a middle school sibling with them. Would it be possible to adjust the high school schedule back a little bit? In other words, right now, if they drop them off, they're gonna be sitting at a high school for an hour before they go to class. Could we start high schools 15 minutes earlier, or 30 minutes earlier, or?
And your high school routes are already pretty long. We're already picking up some of those high school kids pretty early. If we back them up 15 minutes, that's just that much earlier, we gotta pick them up too. I mean, we can.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, we can. We were just we didn't touch high school, because we looked at it, we looked at the triple tier and thought, oh God, that's way too much for us. And then we looked at, if you try to combine middle school and high school, like tier them, that doesn't work because they both have really long routes. The reason it works with elementary is because the elementary routes are so much shorter than the middle and high school routes, so you gotta put elementary in there somewhere. Anything that we do to high school affects early college. And right now, we run, early college is a hub bus. Well, if we mess with that, then we're gonna have to start running early college buses. Right, and at least 5, and those times are gonna be atrocious if we did that.
What time does early college start now?
9,
That's probably a good reason not to touch the high school, because that's gonna start messing up, one thing about hub buses.
Started in high school 10, 15 minutes early, they don't save us anything, does it, any money, does it?
No, I was just thinking about high school, or dropping off a middle school siblings, that's all I was thinking.
I understand, yeah.
What percent of students ride the buses in elementary, middle, high school? Do we know?
I know the heaviest ridership is middle school, I do know that.
I don't have a percentage.
Yeah, we don't have a percentage.
Would
We
that-
can get it,
Parents don't
I
want
get
me.
it, for the Dr. Giddings.
but by far the heaviest ridership is middle school.
I don't want, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the parents don't want them in the car. So I don't want to get my car smelling like Axe, deodorant spray and everything.
And I think, you know, for the first time, they're not community. You know, some of those middle schools are a little bit further away from homes than the elementary schools are. Elementary schools tend to be a lot closer. That's a little bit further for them, and they'll probably won't get caught in traffic. But we can get those numbers.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Action item.
All right, board members, anything else in the tier bus system? So, based on this, we will put this on the agenda as an action item for, the March 16th board meeting, is that right? March 16th?
Yeah.
Yes, March 16th board meeting, and based on what we're hearing from the board, we will recommend, the recommendation will include all 4 zones. Okay?
Okay,
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, we'll get that. We'll get you the percentage ridership as well per level. So thank you. Board members, that's all we have today. Anything else for the staff before we break, before we come back to the board meeting?